Back to the engine for the AMX. Behind the scenes, which there really aren't any behind the scenes. I've had this block over to the machine shop quite a while ago, just to have them look it over and give me an idea what it was going to cost to even remotely try to get this thing up and running, and forged pistons and all that stuff. I did buy forged pistons for it, but it wasn't going to work out because they pointed out a few things to me I wasn't aware of. So at one point in time in the life of this 6-liter, it's had a bad head gasket and it had water sitting inside the cylinder, so that bore is not, I mean, it feels fine, but according to the machine shop, you know, that's not going to work very good with boost, and they said I was probably losing power and stuff like that, which is fine. So basically they said it had to be bored and everything. If they do all that, and the forged pistons aren't going to work, and just, you know. So basically I sent the forged pistons back because then I was going to get the oversized pistons, but then they told me it was going to be about $6,000 to build this motor right because the crank had some issues. Obviously the cam bearings are worn out in it. I mean, motor had 230,000 miles on it before I took it and started messing with it and putting superchargers on it and taking it to Bonneville and running the crap out of it. So I mean, it's not a surprising thing to me that this motor is pretty well clapped out. But with that all being said, so I had to decide if I want to spend a bunch of money on it and all that. So this came up yesterday and I couldn't turn it down. I mean, I called all the big cities in Montana, Missoula, Billings, all the wrecking yards. Nobody had any 6-liter motors. A friend told me about this one, and so I called them. This was the only one that could be found, and it's a grade A, so I guess that's good. And they said it had about 150, 160 compression. 2005 6-liter, so you know, for $1,200 it's worth a shot for me. But of course it actually cost me more than that. I got to take them a core back, and they got rules on what a core is, so I've got to get some heads and some crap off of this motor and put on that motor and go get my $300 back. But I don't have to put a whole bunch onto that motor, but it's got to be a core, as they say. Looking at this motor a little bit, it has the 317 heads on it, which, you know, might be maybe slightly better for the supercharger, but I've already been advised by the people that do all the dyno tuning and stuff for me to just leave the 862s on. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to put those heads on this motor. I got to give them the intake, but I can keep all the injectors and whatnot, and I'll put all the crap off of this motor. I don't want like that AC bracket, the motor mounts, exhaust manifolds, that old crusty water pump, but I'll keep the other drive accessories like the alternator and stuff, and might take the coil packs and stuff like that. But got to put the oil pan on this, which is fine because I got to use the short oil pan off the AMX engine anyway. So, but just a quick look at it, and I'll get some stuff swapped over and we'll bring it back here in a minute. You think they'll know if I put a gross hair cover 4.8 camshaft in that core motor? Probably not. That's as far as I've gotten so far. I actually had an oil pan laying around, so that's cool. Just got to make it look like a motor. But that new engine's pretty clean. I'm not entirely sure what these castings on these pistons are, but pretty clean engine though. So that's good. Alright, well, we got the cores and stuff all switched over, and everything I'm going to keep on this new 6-liter, which I'm guessing 2005-ish, because that's what this motor is. They went to a different style piston, which is fine, I guess. The wind's really blowing. The only thing that throws me off a little bit about that is the fact that the 4.8 that's in the Gremlin is a 2006 or 2007, and I want to say it's got the same silica style pistons as that other 6-liter, but I don't know, maybe these are silica too, I don't know. Put in on those numbers a little bit. And they all say the same thing. I don't think it's bored, but anyways, just saying, pretty clean engine. It had a little bit of crap on the tops of the pistons, but easily came off. I cleaned this side really good and taped it so when I was scrubbing other stuff it didn't get down in the motor. But anyways, should be a good good candidate for what we're going to be doing. And got the AMX moved over, and then if you don't follow on social media, then you probably don't know that I actually finished scraping all the rhino out on this and painted up everything. So got everything all nice and clean. But AMX was over there, which I just shoved it over here because I'm finally gonna get the motor out, and like I said, it's just sitting in there. Finally gonna pull them out since now I have another motor and everything, and get this all scrubbed up and painted and cleaned. Just gonna paint it in orange, and then I gotta get rid of all that crusty old factory rhino line junk out of there. And then this was all really rusty and gross in here. I actually still have it here. I used some of this navel jelly on it and scrubbed it really good with a wire brush and some other stuff, and then painted that navel jelly on there, and it turned it all black and got rid of all the rust. It took probably 3 good heavy coats of doing that, and then washed it all down and threw a little vinegar on it because I wasn't sure how acidic that stuff is, and scrubbed her down some more, threw some primer, and then threw some primer on there, and then just kind of sprayed it orange. Nothing too fancy. These here have already had a bunch of overspray on them before, so, and they're not exactly in the best of shape, so they're under the fender, it doesn't matter. But got everything all painted up. So my shocks were black. They are new, but they were black, and I thought, well, since I wasn't going to take out the coil springs and paint those, I'd complement a little bit of yellow. And then I gotta get this cleaned up and start thinking about how I want to paint the motor, if I want to just paint it orange or what. I didn't bother painting this 5.3 when I put it in there, just because I had to get it in there and get it going type of deal, so I didn't pay any attention to it, and I didn't have any expectations that this 5.3 was gonna last or run very long anyways. But we can do orange, and then I put it on Instagram on these suggestions, and had a suggestion about painting it to teal, the AMC teal color, which I have thought about that, so I don't know, we might have some fun with this one, we'll see. But it's still a little ways from that, but anyways, and then the old 6-liter, it's got all the junk on it, and I took everything that was good off that motor and just put core stuff back on it, like coil packs and whatever. And I'm not going to trust any water pumps off the junkyard. I've already tried those and they don't work. So And then they got to have their intake back, which is fine. It was pre-broken when it got delivered. So anyways, so this one's going to go as a core. It's going to go bye-bye. And as I talked about a little bit before, I'm not going to use the 317 heads just because the dyno tuners told me it wasn't in my best interest. So we're going to continue on with the modified, I think these are 862 heads, yep. And looking at them, I can tell you right now that the exhaust ports are way bigger on these than those 317s, and I should have videotaped that. But all right, well, thanks for watching. We'll get after it again. I need to try to get this painted up within the next 2 weeks. The sponsors are going to show up around the 1st of the year, so hopefully this year will be a lot better year, and you know, we can have a little bit more fun stuff with this car, and we'll finally figure out if we're doing supercharger for sure, turbo, or what we're doing. So all right, we'll see you in the next video.